3, 2, 1.
Take 2.
Okay, let's do this. Pork belly. I know we've already done some pork belly burnt ends, but I'm going to be doing a totally different take on pork belly today. Tomorrow we're going to be putting this on the smoker, so tonight I need to get it prepped up. As you can see here, we have what was a full 11, maybe 12-pound pork belly that we've sliced into slices, and I'm going to be taking this and scoring the fat on top. You can see the skin's already been removed, but we still have that nice fat on top of there. I'm just going to be scoring it just about every half inch or so. And you can see I'm not going all the way through. I'm just scoring through the first layer of fat.
Score.
Score. Skull.
Skull.
And I'm going to be doing the same thing for all of these.
What does the scoring do?
That's a great question, actually. So the scoring does 2 things. One, when I get our salt on here, it's going to be able to permeate into those little nooks and crannies, and it'll get to the meat. But more so, when we cook this down, once it gets nice and crisped up on this fat, it's gonna blossom out, and it's gonna be these perfect little segments. These are little serving segments. So each one of these will be able to slice right down, no matter how crispy the skin is.
Smart.
And you can do this however you want. If this was a whole pork belly still, instead of sliced into these slices, I would probably do like a hatch pattern. I'd go one way and then the other so that it was crossed. The reason that we cut it into strips is I want this to cook a little faster. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing some whole chickens for some pulled chicken sandwiches. We're gonna be doing some other things out on the grill. So I want this to get smoked within just a few hours as opposed to a long 6 or 7 hour cook. So we sliced it up. Smart. And the reason I'm slicing it this way instead of being creative, as you can see, the butcher already had a few too many before he sliced this pork belly off, so there's already some cracks and slices here. Boom. Now that this is all scored down, we're just going to be adding some salt to the top of these. And I'm going to be putting just some kosher salt up here, sprinkling it on the top. I'm doing this first, and I'll show you what we're going to do right after this. Now this is going to be a dry brine that we're going to put back in the fridge. Just a nice little layer of salt. Not too crazy with it. Probably about ½ teaspoon each strip, not even. And then once we get to this stage, I want to go ahead and rub it in and get it into all those little nooks and crannies. Just like that. Nothing too crazy, but this will help draw out all of that moisture, and we're going to get a nice crisp fatty top to this. I keep saying skin. It's not skin. This is the fat. The skin's been removed from this one. All right, once we get the salt on, we're going to flip these over. This next stage is going to have some brown sugar involved. I don't want any of that brown sugar to get on the top fat layer of this pork belly.
Brown sugar.
Oh, my pants keep falling down. Maybe because it's tough being skinny.
It's tough being skinny.
All right. Okay, so now that we have all the salt on that fat layer, I'm going to be taking the leftover salt that I have here, kosher salt. It was about a ½ cup, not about, it was exactly a ½ cup, adding it into this bowl. And I'm taking a ½ cup of this light brown sugar substitute. This is the erythritol one. I'm adding that in. Equal parts, just remember equal parts salt to sugar. And I'm going to mix that around nice and right.
How is that?
Nice and right.
Nice and right.
We're going to incorporate, you got to incorporate it. It looks good, it feels good. Now the next step is we're gonna be adding this to the outside. Now as you saw, I didn't add any binders or anything like that. I don't want this meat to get too crazy flavorful or anything to permeate except for this sugar and salt mixture. So I'm gonna start putting this on here on each one of these. We're gonna get it on the sides, we're gonna get it on the top, and really gonna get it on there, you know? I'm gonna rub it in like any other real barbecue rub. Like any other barbecue rub. As opposed to what? The make-believe barbecue rubs. Yeah. Please also pay attention to the skin. Don't get any sugar on that skin. I'm gonna get some more of this real rub.
It's been a long week, babes.
Yeah, it has been a very long week. Getting that on there. See how we're doing on this mixture here. See if we're gonna need more or if this is just right. I think it's gonna be just about right. We might actually have a little extra. So again, just working it in. This is looking really nice. You know, there's a certain saltiness that pork already has as a protein, and this sugar, any type of sugar, that's why apple goes so well with pork, but brown sugar is just so good on pork. You'll notice this is something you might see in the breakfast aisle with bacon, right? You see that maple and brown sugar type of bacon. That's why they do that. The flavors are just so good. That sweetness with the natural saltiness of the pork, you can't beat it. You can't beat it with a stick.
With a stick?
You can't beat it with a stick. Last dose. Yeah, looks like we got it pretty perfect here. Man, this piece is so perfect. Look at that nice
Beautiful hunk of meat.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the dry brine for this pork. So last thing I'm gonna do before I put this in the refrigerator is flip these over, just so the skin is on top. And you can see we have that nice salt. There's a little rim of sugar on there, that's okay, like because we put so much. And you can see it's already starting to sweat out. Now we're gonna go put these in the refrigerator for anywhere between 14 and 18 hours. We're not quite sure when we're gonna get this on the smoker tomorrow, but you want at least 12 hours of this to sit with the dry brine. Up to 24 hours is totally fine. Any more than that is kind of pushing it. I'm gonna leave it totally uncovered, and tomorrow we're gonna see what this looks like when we pull it out. Hang on, I'm sweating.
Okay.
So it's day 2. We've had this pork belly in the refrigerator with that sugar and salt on it, and the salt here on top of all this good fat. And we're going to be transferring it over to this wire rack. You can see how much moisture pulled out onto our pan here. And I'm just going to be putting this fat side down because I want to do one more little treatment to it. A lovely little treatment. We're going to get these transferred over. Okay, so now with this pork belly, I want to add a little bit of this Meat Church Honey Hog Barbecue to it. Just to the bottom, not to the top. Just a little bit of that flavor. You can see it's soaking up the moisture that it was sitting in, and it's going to give it just a little extra pop. And this is just layering flavors, you know, the way we do. I think that barbecue pork is my spirit animal. You can see how quickly that's soaking in. Get any of the other spots that are still bare. And this will just help sweeten it up and add just one more layer of flavor on there onto that meat side. Now we're flipping it back to the fat side because we're going to cook this fat side up. Now, one of the benefits of cooking it fat side up is 1, that fat is going to crisp up, and 2, any fat that renders is going to naturally baste the meat that's underneath it. We want to break down this collagen, break down the meat and the fibers within the pork belly so that it becomes nice, soft, and succulent. Let's go get it onto the grill. All right, so we have our pork out here. You can see we've got 2 smokers going right now. We're gonna be cooking the pork over here on our Kamado because it just holds the temperature so well. So I'm gonna be running this at about 260, 265 today. You can see we've got a little bit of post oak and a little bit of cherry wood rolling in there. There we go. I'm gonna push this in just a bit. So as you can see, I've got a pan underneath here, and I want to catch all of the drippings from the pork on this pan. Not just because they're going to be leaking down underneath, but I want to use those drippings later. Let's get this closed down. We're going to be checking back in on this in about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to stick a probe in one of the fattest parts of the pork. So we're back out here at the Kamado, and we're going to be probing this pork. It's looking absolutely awesome. You can see we're getting a little bit of crisp there. And I want to go right into, let's go right in here. I'm going to go right into this meat part of this piece right here, right into the dead center. And we're going to monitor that. And we're going to keep this rolling at about 260, 265. All right, so we want to take a look at our pork. Right now it's sitting right at about 163 degrees. We're bringing this up to about 195, but take a look at that.
Wow.
That's amazing. We've had it running right at about 250 to 260 this whole time. Look at this. Look at the finish on the...
Looks amazing.
Hi, guys. It looks awesome. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to close it back down, let it continue cooking. We are up to about 195, 196 degrees, and these suckers are ready to come off. Let's take a little look here. Yep, that's exactly what we want to see. 200's perfect. Nice. 195 or higher. I'm going to take these off. These are done to me. Let's pull them. Okay, so we've pulled our pork belly off of the smoker and we brought it into rest. Now that it's had a few minutes, we're gonna fry it up in some oil. I've got this oil heated to 350 degrees. We're not gonna do all of it, but we are gonna do some of these amazing pieces here. I'm laying these fat side down and I'm gonna let them cook for a little bit. What you wanna see, these little bubbles right around the end here. All right, so we've had these frying for just a little bit and we're gonna get them out of the oil here. I just wanted to crisp up the top of those. Now what I did was I added all of the pork fat and a little bit of vegetable oil to fry these up, just for a little extra flavor. All right, let's slice into one of these and see how we did. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, look at the juice running out of there. Incredible. So I'm just gonna slice these into serving portions. You can toss these with sauce. I'm gonna try these right now with a little bit of my Carolina mustard vinegar sauce, drizzled right over the top. Let's check that out. Oh, that's the way to go. Holy shit. Yes. You're definitely going to want to try this one out. Absolutely delicious with that little sauce on there. You can put anything you want. We could put the Kansas City barbecue sauce on there. I like this Carolina sauce on it. It really gives that tang, a little bit of sweetness, and the smokiness from that post oak and the cherry just sets it off. Absolutely awesome. You're going to want to give this one a try. Check it out.